Welcome back. Today we have another patient here. It's actually a SyncMaster 930N Samsung computer monitor, and not even mine actually. It belongs to the company who provided my home office setup here, and but it's dead. We need to look at it. I think the power supply has it, so let's have a look into it. Okay, that was easy. The two bolts at the bottom, and then just take a big flat screwdriver and just snap it open, because there's some lugs on the side here, which are those here, so you can snap it out, and then you can take the cover off. And obviously this has to come off somehow. As far as I can see, there's only this screw and this one here. Maybe the rest is just held with the back cover. I think I came into the office and at some point I had a strange smell, and I know I didn't smoke anything else, because sometimes we have some smoking components on here on the desk, but it was a bit of a strange electric smell, so it may have been coming off this one here. Don't know how old it is. Can't really see it. February 2005, manufactured February 2005. Well, so it's 15 years old, so yeah, well, apparently this screw here is only holding the front bezel here, and then you can take it out. But there are some screws here and probably around the other side as well. You have to unplug the knobs. There's a little panel with the knobs down here, look at that. And you have to unplug that one, and then you can take the whole thing out. So let's take those screws out and see if it comes apart. Apparently there's another plug down here, so you can take it out here. So you can leave that in the front bezel. Doesn't matter. I think it comes loose now. Let me take it out. Can't see any particular smoke components. We got some dirt here, but that might be just dirt. But there is a fuse here, it's a solder fuse. Maybe that's popped. I can't really tell. Yeah, I can't see anything exploded so far, because on switching power supplies it's normally the rectifier is gonna explode or the capacitor goes bang. I'm not sure if that capacitor looks convincing here. Let me check that in circuit, what comes out of it. Yeah, unfortunately it doesn't really test well in circuit. This is a diode with a capacitor of 96 microfarads. So it's the rectifier which is disturbing the measurements here. I checked it with a meter briefly, and it has some capacity, but I can't tell how much. Well, as always, it's worth looking twice. I just checked everything, the fuse is good. If you look down here, this has actually missing half of its plastic here. So, it's visible here. Here, that is it's either something integrated, or it's just a transistor, I think. It's got 4 wires, so who knows what it is. We'll find out. Unfortunately, the missing plastic isn't there, because I checked the capacitor is fine. We got about 320 volts, so we have no supply at all. Unfortunately, it's interesting, there's no 5-volt supply coming out. Normally there's a auxiliary 5-volt which is always on, which does the power button stuff, but that seems to be somehow different, because these are the inverters for the backlights. So these two, and well, this one has certainly failed. So we need to find where that plastic is, because it's going to be somewhere, because it has the writing on it. So maybe I can find something. Let me find what we have here. So we're lucky, we found it. It's this little shrapnel here, and it says magnifying glass for that, TOP46YN. So let's Google that. I certainly don't have one. Maybe I got a... I think I slaughtered one of these a while ago. Maybe I got one. Let me Google what it is. Okay, we found it. It's a fully integrated MOSFET switcher with lots of protection electronics in it. Apparently good for 125 watts. I don't think we have one. We'll have a look if we can find something. But so it looks like this is always on. And that would explain that it's got 15 years of permanent power probably, or maybe a little bit less, but most of the time it was certainly plugged in, and it just went pop. And because I can't see anything else, obviously we're gonna check all the components around it. In particular these two diodes down there, and there's a bunch of other diodes. So, but this is all, that's all on the primary side. This is secondary where the optocouplers and transformers are. So this is all primary here. So this thing is permanently on, I think. Maybe it activates something if you flick the power switch, but I got a strong feeling that this thing is really on most of the time. Otherwise you won't have the 5 volt to turn the power on. This is a bit weird, but yeah, not like switching power supplies from a computer. You got a little 5 volt supply which provides the power when you press, or provides the power for the power on circuitry, and then you actually fire it up with where the big switcher comes on. I don't know, I can't see it here. Anyway, it's £2.50 or something like that, so we're gonna order one eventually, maybe two, because it may come across one more or so. I'm gonna go through my collection, and if I can find something, we'll fit it. If I don't have one, well, we're gonna buy some, and hopefully nothing else explodes. I probably have most of the other components, but this particular thing I don't have. Alright, just did a brief Google here, and this is a service manual for an LG monitor, but it looks very similar. You got that is probably the 5 volts stuff here, I don't know, but this is the power side here. It's doing 14 volts or so, plus 14, and it's using the same chip, so it's like one optocoupler, rectifying here, well, mains rectifier here, and then you got the components, so we can identify the components and check what they're supposed to be. Makes life a lot easier than just poking around. Well, we know this is shot here, so if the transformer isn't shot, we're probably lucky. Alright. Apparently it provides some 5 volts here, so 14 volt power comes out here, but there is some 5 volt, it says 1 watt standby and 34 watts on state, but yeah, the power supply is pretty much the same as the other one, so there must be some 5 volts coming. There's components underneath here, might be another small, because there is a second optocoupler here. It's only the drawing out, this LG drawing only shows one, but we have 2 of them, so who knows. Somehow they make 5 volts for the standby, and there is a marking here 5 volts, but I think this is a generic power supply. May not even be made by Samsung. This is PowerNet technology, so it's not made by Samsung. It's just bought in by them. Sorry, not Samsung. Oh, it's Samsung. So they just bought it from somewhere. Alright, we'll get the part and see what we can do. Welcome back. We're back on the Samsung monitor. So this is our corpus delicti here. We fitted a new one. When you fit those, put the bolt in first and then solder it. otherwise you're never gonna line it up. We checked the capacitors, they're all good, so there's nothing wrong with the capacitor itself. So we put it back together and give it a try. So we can see here there was some heating going on underneath, so yeah, it went just hot. Probably because that's running 24/7. Alright, let's put it back in and see if it works. So now comes the moment of truth. We're gonna switch it on and no bang, it's good. Power, and power's on. And let's see, menu. We do have a menu. I don't know if it's visible here, but it's okay. I can't turn it around because everything falls apart, so I think it works. Okay, let's put it back together. Yeah, it's all flimsy, you can't really turn it around because the whole thing falls out. Alright, at least till now successful, we'll see. That's the reason why it's worth fixing it, because this tiny little thing is just too small. So we put it back and have two monitors of the same size, because the other one is a Dell 19" as well. So here we go, everything's working, and successfully rescued a Samsung SyncMaster 930N. Yeah, nothing spectacular, but yeah, why throw it away if you can fix it for £2? Alright, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, until next time.